Oh, Lord. Kalamawana warrior. Hi, guys. Sorry, it's been a long week. Really tiring. Haven't played much. But it's quite alright. It's not like I'm been having a bad week or anything, just tired. On the way to work, I was actually thinking about something interesting. Well, moderately interesting. It's like I was thinking about the term guilty pleasure, and I had to think about it for a second. And the only real guilty pleasure I have is mostly in terms of music. It's like, what's your guilty band? Are you a Taylor Swift fan? Ugh. No. My guilty pleasure in terms of musical choices, Limp Bizkit. Look, you can say what you want about the 90s and early 2000s, but Limp Bizkit was the shit back in the day, alright? It's kind of like liking Nickelback at this point. You like Nickelback unironically, you've done something wrong. You haven't moved on yet. I'm similar in that sense with Limp Bizkit. I don't know why. I kind of know why, and it has a lot to do with Wes Borland being, you know, first of all, underrated guitarist. No one wants to admit that Wes Borland is a good guitarist, but all you really have to do is listen to Black Light Burns and go, oh, okay, it's not so bad. Yeah, exactly, it's not so bad. Don't hate on Wes Borland. Dude's better, he's better by himself, I guess, than he was with Limp Bizkit. Well, I mean, with Limp Bizkit, he, you know, did the whole weird costumes and all kinds of crazy shit. And that was really cool. But the reason from what I remember hearing, it's like the reason he did that was because he was ashamed of being in the band. It was like, but it pays the bills, right? You know? By the way, you'll notice I'm increasing sword damage, but I'm using an axe still. Sorry, I just cannot find a decent damn weapon to replace this axe. I wish I could. Be way better, but no. The only other guilty pleasure bands that I have aren't like, they're not bad bands necessarily. It's that if by the mere mentioning of the name of the band would make most people think of me different. Like, maybe I shouldn't tell people I listen to, you know, certain bands. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh god. Are you still popping off? Like, is that Metamore still alive? Where are you at? No, you're just this thing back here. Just popping off. Die already. Thank you. What about you? And dead. Alright. Got nothing from it. Ugh. Started playing Divinity. Divinity 2 specifically. It is D&D, the game, which I really appreciate. Honestly, I wish I had more friends just to play it, because it's really cool. Not sure what else to really say about it other than that. I mean, it really is just D&D the game. I don't know how else to really explain that. It's not a bad game. Complex enough for what it is. Turn-based. Oh, excuse me. Turn-based role-playing games are kind of like that. There's not. It's more strategy than it is like raw, in decision making, and all that, rather than just raw. I don't know what to say. It's less technical skill, like controls and movement and all that, and more about strategic ability, which, you know, that's fair.
You have blood and you have...
Huh?
You have blood and you have...
Yeah, of course. Glory is great. Fuck off, Tasuni, you dickhead. It's like I have no respect for you whatsoever. But as far as like music goes, like there's some bands I don't like. Again, I listen to a lot of metal and I listen to a lot of different types of metal. There's some things I won't listen to generally. Like I won't listen to the what you would call classic black metal bands. I'm just not much into black metal. It's, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the singing or the vocals usually, and the technical prowess of those types of bands just usually isn't a thing. I don't want to like bash on people who, you know, love mayhem or anything, but it's not my cup of tea, you know. I could go on and on with that, but I'm not going to. Again, I'm not trying to shame anybody, I'm just saying it's not my style. Like, with the exception of, I guess you could call Behemoth a black metal band, technically. Although I put them more into death metal than black metal. They have essence of black metal, but they are more death metal. In terms of production, I guess you could say. I think Nurgle is actually a really good singer. Not everybody's going to admit that one, but I think he's a good singer. I think everybody in that band overall is very talented and unique musicians. I appreciate what they do. And if you watch them live, which I've seen them twice now, they just make a wall of sound that's just incredible, like just fantastic. Can't replace it. Same way with like At the Gates, but again, that's getting into death metal and stuff like that. But like one band that I will mention that, again, it's one of those where I think most people, like, no, most of my friends, even some of my friends and perhaps family would not particularly appreciate the name alone. Skill of the band aside, name of the band is really what would throw people off. But it's not it's not Brujeria or whatever I think it's called. Bruja's Witch. Brujeria, I think it's what it's called. That's one, but that is a band. You ever get a chance, like, look up information about that band. Like, they're heavy, but that's not what I'm referring to. Like, one band I'll reference is like Rotting Christ. Just the name alone will turn most people off. They're like, that's evil, man. I'm like, not really. Like, they're not bad people. the band itself is, you know, pretty solid actually, you know. But again, it's one of those things where I think the name of the band just turns people off, and nobody wants to admit that they're a good band simply because of that. They're like, that's disappointing because they're not bad. I haven't had that yet. That's nice. And that's actually not bad for what I'm doing. That's actually pretty decent. Huh. We'll keep that. And that's the thing, it's like, I listen to a lot of different types of music, so, and I will never be ashamed of what I listen to. It's that I don't want my, I guess, public persona being judged simply because of some music that I listen to. That's not exactly, like, it's what gets me through my day, you know. Doesn't matter what I'm listening to. At least I'm not like, you know, I'm not drowning puppies, you know, calm down, please. I think people overreact, when you tell them, you know, you play video games, or hell, you read. It's like, you don't read the Berber. No, I actually read books, thank you. You know, I listen to music, you know. I don't listen to pop country, sorry. As far as I'm concerned, Garth Brooks is a hack. I could go on. I don't give a fuck about your damn truck or tractor, pal. You know, it's kind of like, what was the one that threw me off? Oh, can't remember it now. Yeah, I can't remember now. Like, Taylor Swift actually is one that throws me off. There's some artists and bands that I don't know how they're famous, and then I go, oh wait, no, I know exactly how they're famous. It's called marketing. I mean, that's kind of how most bands get famous and everything, but like really famous. But generally they start out as a good band, you know. At the core of their being, they start out as a good band. I don't think Justin Bieber was ever good, you know. Fight me, I don't care. You find me on the street, you can fight me. I don't give a damn. Your opinion is wrong if you try to tell me that was good at any given time. Baby, baby, shut up. Shut up, please. You're marketed to underage girls, you fucking twit. That's what I hate about you. And what bothers me is I'm not sure if he ever has really, like, grasped that or not. Like, I mean, I'm not in the guy's head, I don't know. But I feel like he's the kind of person that might not actually completely understand the fact that he's marketed to, like, underage teens, you know.
That I just did you a favor.
You know, underage teen girls. But that's what it seems like he's marketed towards. I don't know. Like, it just... Everything about his music seems slimy and is not intelligent, is not complicated, is not nuanced. It's just drivel in music form. You know, it's like mumble rap. I can't stand mumble rap. If you have a good beat that you yourself made, alright, cool. But mumble rap's just like, again, uninspired garbage. As far as I'm concerned. Again, fight me. Post up a comment. You can fight me all you want on the comment section. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna...
Yes?
That's one of the... I'm a music elitist at best, you know? And I'm willing to admit that much.
Anything you need, just ask.
And I've been told as such, too. You know? And you'd be right. But again, I'm not gonna, like... I'm not gonna step down on my musical taste and what I allow to grace my ears just because somebody goes, but it's the new #1. I don't care. We literally vote in people into office that are actually openly trying to fuck us on the daily. And you're gonna,
Making a ground-shaking entrance.
and that's all levels of government, and you're going to honestly tell me that your argument for something being good is because it's popular. Fuck you. Fuck you. Just because something's popular doesn't make it objectively good. I can tell you 50 reasons why I think Justin Bieber is actually one of the worst artists of the modern time. Well, not even modern time. I'm talking about of the last 20 years. I'll give you 20 years. Uninspired, not actually a musician. Sounds like a teen boy, which at the time he was getting famous, he was a teen boy. So, I mean, I guess that's fair. But I think you get the idea. Take those. But that's the thing, is the music hasn't evolved with him. It had it evolved and changed and he was actually making music himself, then maybe I would let it go. You know, I would probably, I would consider, you know, stop bashing on Bieber so much. I'd still not fucking like him, but, you know, I would consider not bashing him so much. But it hasn't changed. It's still uninspired, it's still garbage, it's still appealing to underage teen girls. Sorry, what do you want me to tell you? I think Taylor Swift's overrated. Yeah, you can sell almost the most records in the last decade. I don't care. That doesn't make you good. That means you appealed to a certain age group really well. You were marketed really well. Nah, that's what it is. Marketing. And that's what that's basically what the music industry is at this point, is between marketing and can you make a hit single. A single, not an album, a single. Even Eminem, like, don't get me wrong, I love Eminem, and I'm not gonna bash Eminem, no. But his fame at this point is generally due to how well a single does. Now, are his albums generally good? Actually, yeah. I'm not gonna lie about that. But again, it's the radio. That's how. And most people don't buy full albums anymore. You know, this isn't the 90s. This, hey, you know, this isn't the 70s. This isn't the 60s. This isn't even the fucking 90s. You know, where, you know, before the digital age, where you could download a single song that you like and that's it. You know, back in, you know, back when, before you had this whole digital age thing that I was just referring to, you know, you bought an album, you had to make an album that was pretty good front to back, because if you didn't, it wasn't gonna sell. You know, people wouldn't buy it because, ooh, I don't think I've had this one before. Sorry. Or I don't know. You know, you had like a vinyl, right? You can't really skip songs on vinyl, you know? So your album had to be good front to back, right? You might have a song you might not like as much as the others, but generally speaking, it, you know, the whole album is solid, you know? Same with cassette. I mean, again, you could kind of skip songs, but, you know, that took a lot more work than usually most people were could really go through. Or willing to go through. Yeah. It's not A-track. Same way with A-track. Same way with, you know, cassette. CDs even with CDs. You could skip songs at that point, and that's when you start seeing a kind of degradation in quality of bands in general, to some extent at least. Depends on where you're talking about. If you're talking about America, or if you're talking about Europe or Japan, like, it depends on where you're talking about. Generally speaking, I think America's music got worse. Bands in America were worse throughout the 90s than Europe's bands. European music stayed consistent. Huh.
Always happy to help a damsel in distress.
Yeah. European bands in general were consistent. They were generally getting better over time through the 90s, you know. Hell, you know, through the late 80s and or the 80s and 90s, you had, you know, Brazilian bands that nobody ever heard about until metal, you know, started getting into metal. And then you got, like, you know, Sepultura coming out, you know. And then later when the Cavalera brothers broke off and made Cavalera Conspiracy, you know, stuff like that. You had Behemoth coming out in the 90s. You had At the Gates coming out in the 90s. But America, what did we do? We came, you know, we didn't really evolve, you know. Rock and metal started in Europe, and I hate to tell you this, but it ends in Europe. Like, yeah, Europe will have, generally speaking, the best metal bands of all time. They're, as a whole, like, if you're talking about per capita, best metal bands all time, period. Now, where's that? Okay, I was about to say, where the fuck is that Metamorph at? Okay, he's dead. Where are all these others? Okay, I gotta kill you guys. You are really wrecking my shit. Where are you? No, no! There we go. Damn! Yeah, that. I'll take that. And where's this other fuck? Yeah, there you are. And then, of course, I say all that, and then people are going to mention, you know, oh, let's say Metallica. Okay. And Metallica's a good band. That's one metal band out of the, let's say, for every Metallica or Pantera. And let's not forget where Pantera started. They did not start as a fucking metal band. They started as a glam rock cover band. Like, specifically, I think it was like Whitesnake or something. Like, please don't insult metal like that. They didn't start, like, I'm sorry. And if you're going to tell me the Whitesnake's metal, then you really just need to, like, get out of my fucking face. I don't want your opinion in this conversation at all. I gotta know one of these Moku's embrace. I mean, it's fine. It might be better if I end up getting, you know, a bunch of rings and make a lore weave or something. But, you know, for every Pantera or for every Metallica, you had like 10 bands in Europe that were 10 times better. The problem is that, again, You know, you're talking about 70s, 80s, 90s,
Buried under tons of rock.
where, you know, music traveled, like, news still traveled slower. You know, you didn't have internet. The thing about, what the hell? The thing about internet is, and I think this is something people still don't really grasp somehow. It's that the internet, instantaneous information exchange is still relatively new. And I think both ends of the conversation kind of don't realize that. You know, back, you know, it was still possible to have rural people that never, you know, left the damn house. You know, they were lumberjacks and they were, or farmers, and they were rural, and they stuck to themselves. I'm not making an insult about that lifestyle, by the way. I'm saying that as a matter of fact. That was a thing. Nowadays, that doesn't really happen. You know, almost everyone has internet now. And if you had, as far as America goes, as far as, you know, first world and second world sort of countries, you know, internet's pretty pervasive. It's a normal thing. Is this a channeling? Do I want this? I know I'm going to go with the other sword skill tree, or part of this tree right here. But this would increase my damage right now. Oh, never mind. There we go. Forgot herbalism's right there. I'm sorry, herbalism, if that makes you feel better. The reason that's important in what I'm talking about, even not just with music, but with everything. Like news, you know, current events, politics, everything. The reason it's so important to realize that, you know, information exchanges, like instantaneous information exchange, right, information sharing and knowledge sharing, information sharing, blah 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 blah. The reason that's important for music, for instance, well, that's the easy one, is, you know, news traveled slow. You might hear about a new hit, quote unquote, or a new album. Like, you wouldn't have heard of Iron Maiden, you know, the day album came out. You would have heard about it like months later, you know, and vice versa. Now, unless it was heavily marketed, you know, depending. And that's a if and only if sort of situation, but, you know, but that's just one example. What about, and that's why, like, hit singles and all that is such a thing, because that instantaneous exchange, you know, says I can deliver this album or this song or this whatever instantly. I can have the entire world have a copy of this song digitally the second it comes out, right? Makes sense. Well, but that's not how music transferred back in the day. You know, some people had to you know, record, even I remember recording like music off of the stereo with a cassette and going, you know, a DJ going, all right, you know, this next song is, you know, Go Fuck Yourself by the Stinking Rats. Okay, cool. You know, gotta really line it up, hold up, and all right, we got the song, you know, hit record, god damn it. And then you got like 30 seconds of the song before it, you know, stupid shit. Even I remember that. I remember was able to take a CD, because I had one of those boomboxes that had a CD player and a cassette player, and you could actually record a CD onto a tape. That shit was awesome. I don't know why. I mean, it made it easier because I didn't have a CD player at the very, very beginning, when I really started listening to music at first. You know, it was not soon after I could, but I thought the coolest shit in the world was like PS1. With the PS1, you could listen to music, right? You could, like, certain video games, like Twisted Metal 2 and Twisted Metal 3 and, you know, stuff like that. If you left the tray open, or the lid open, and you put the CD in, you could use it like a CD player, and you could listen to some of the tracks on the CD, from the CD. It was awesome. It was so fucking cool. It was the coolest thing I ever had at the time. I thought that was amazing. I was listening to Rob Zombie way back in the day, before I even knew who Rob Zombie was. I didn't even know that was the name of the person who made some of the songs. All I knew was, this shit's the bomb. But, you know. I digress. Oh, so I did already have one of those shields. Okay, cool. That just means it gets chucked in the extra bin over here. Same with the ring. Why is it important for, like, current events and so on? That's a little more nuanced to talk about. It's... Hold on. What do we got here? Oh, that fire resist. Like, for instance, you know, hate crimes. You know, there'll be some people, no joke, that have said to me that this sort of thing didn't happen back in the day. You know, back when they were kids. You know, it's only a now thing. No. Racial violence has been happening for a very long time. Like, a very, very long time. Like, I don't know how to tell you how wrong you are, you know. Oh, I need to actually pull the essence worm. Okay. Never mind, we're pulling this. Hold on, give me a second. Do I need this or this? 16 lightning resistance. Because essence worm just makes this so much better. That gives me lightning resist. That gives me the 24. Oh, I need the fire resist more. Ooh. But it's like, no, it's always been a problem. You just, the same way with, like, school violence. School violence was around, like, the first school shooting was like in, I think it was like the mid 1800s. And it's like, excuse me? Excuse me. The first mass killing in a school was like in the, like, I think it was, like I said, I think it's in the 1800s. I'll have to double check on that one, of course, but and or if we want to really it's like, or we can, if you want to get really quote-unquote recent, what is this, 1927 Bath School disaster or Bath School massacre. Killed 38 elementary school children, 6 adults, injured 58 other people. That was 1927. And apparently the reason was revenge for defeat in local elections, personal and financial stress. Okay, 1927. But yet school shootings are such a current thing, and you know, it's all about, you know, we don't have principles and you know, we don't have morals or values anymore. What? No, no, no. Sorry, that's just, that's ridiculous. That's beyond ridiculous. And again, what does that have to do with proliferation of information? The reason it matters is because now, as soon as a thing happens, everyone can know about it instantly. The moment it happens. As it's happening, even. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I would say it's generally a good thing, depending on what it is, you know? Meh. Eh. Do I have... Am I missing one of these? I don't think I have a lightning. I'll take a lightning one. Yeah. Having instant access to news is, you know, really important. But people don't think of it that way. They think about it in terms of, you know, somehow we're losing morals or something. No, same morals, same consequences, same insanity. You didn't know, apparently you didn't know about it at the time, you know? People were being shot in the streets and you probably didn't know. You know, ignorance is not necessarily bliss. Ignorance is just ignorance, and ignorance is lack of information. You know, it doesn't mean that you intentionally didn't see something. It means that you just didn't know. There's nothing wrong with just not knowing something. What's wrong is not correcting yourself once you know the information, you know? If you sat here and told me that everything I have said that is empirical fact, that is just outright, quote-unquote, factual or factual sounding, and everything I said was wrong. If you said that everything I was saying was wrong, you're like, okay, cool, tell me why. If you can give me a damn good reason, then by all means, whoops, my bad, sounds logical to me, and you move on. There's nothing wrong with being incorrect. There's everything wrong with, you know, being incorrect and not adjusting your worldview, you know? But, you know, once again, people don't think like that anymore. Or maybe they do, and, you know, I just don't ever notice. You know. But, you know. What's the other one? Where's my... Oh, purity. Steel skin. Can I have a steel skin set up? Do I a way to make a steel skin setup? I don't have a cast when damage taken gem in here. I have to go get one. Shit. Nah, that's actually not hard. It's annoying. We'll stash you back in here. But again, this is all crap that I should have sold. What the fuck is all this shit? What the frick? Get out of my inventory. Get out. Get out of my inventory. What are you? What are you? That's actually a pretty good bow. That's why I kept that. That's pretty good too. That's why I kept that. Okay, okay. We're back. We're back to normal. All right.
Yes.
What? No, I don't want to buy things from you. Fuck buying things from you guys. Y'all suck. Take my stuff, vendor. Vendors, my bad. So, but unfortunately, because that proliferation of information, because you can get almost the entire world a piece of information instantly, it causes one issue that, well, it causes distrust to an extent. People think that every piece of news is fake when it doesn't coincide with what they believe. Basically. Could that ever be a problem? Yes. Is it a problem? Yes. Is it a problem from accredited news outlets? Maybe. The reason I make that distinction, the reason I even mention it, hold on a sec. Blood and sand, specifically that. Oh, that was Herald of Purity. There's that. I got all my abilities stacked up. Pride, Blood and Sand, Herald of Purity. All boxes checked. Let's go. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No. Well, yes, actually. It depends on how necessary it is for your viewpoint to be heard and accepted. Now, why do I say it like that? It's a matter of control. If you believe that all the mega corporations care about is profit, which they probably do, that probably is all they care about for saying. If that's the case, then they would do generally anything they could to maintain control and power so that they can always make a profit. But if they really wanted power, they don't need to make profit, you know. Money becomes unnecessary at that point. They already have the labor force, they have the control, paying you, you know, getting their money back from you essentially kind of just doesn't matter because you're under the thumb anyway, you know. But control through debt, you know, you could do that. That's kind of how America has it at this point. We're not gold backed, you know. We haven't been gold backed since, you know, what, 1910s or something like that. No, before that, technically, Federal Reserve and all. You know, we essentially dropped being gold backed, and you know, we have copious amounts of gold and everything, but it doesn't really mean anything. That's not what actually backs our dollar. Our dollar, the American dollar, is essentially backed by debt. How much, you know, is owed or owed to us, you know? That's why technically the dollar is actually worth less than, you know, some currencies. You would think, oh, hold on. We gotta get that. Alright. Tyrannosaurus? Basically Tyrannosaurus, yeah. Tyrannosaurus Maximus. The Maximus of Tyrannosauruses. Tyrannosaur? Anyway. I've gone way off track. Alarmed? You're a fucking ghost out of a painting. Why should I be alarmed? It's like the most mundane thing I've seen all day. Last thing I would say about it, though, at least news, since we're talking about news at this point, it's up to you to actually research information and find out whether something is true or false, but do not make the mistake that you assume that news outlets make. Generally, the mistake that most people assume news outlets are making is by being biased. Well, see, that's the thing. Facts are not biased. You know? If you say... If you... what's a good way of putting it? If you've never had a problem at, let's say, Walmart, right? Walmart's always had, let's say, what you thought were the cheapest prices. Just as a off-the-wall bit there. And a news outlet says, well, no, actually, you know, technically they don't. Technically they have the second best prices. This other outlet of whatever it may be actually has the best prices. If you sit there and say, well, no, I've always gone to Walmart, therefore they have the best prices, that's not fact, you know? Your bias in the matter has clouded judgment, despite, you know, counter information. Now, if you do some research and go, well, you know, they technically have the best prices in this one thing that you use, then by all means, you know, that is technically correct in that sense, and it just depends on what they meant by context. You know, that's the other thing about news. It's a lot of headlines to draw the reader in, but most people don't really read. The average American reads on the 5th grade level or less, and that's a fact. That is a statistical fact. And quite frankly, what's even more sad to me is that most people that I know offhand don't read at all. Not that they're illiterate, it's that they don't read. Totally different thing. Now, am I saying that's a good thing or bad thing? It'd be cooler if you did read, bud. Just saying. You know, Not saying reading is necessary, but it's a pretty fucking useful skill, I think. Being able to read. Just saying. Never seen a time where reading was a bad thing. Unless you got some, you know, copy of Necronomicon and you all of a sudden learned how to summon demons and shit, and then maybe reading's a bad thing at that point. But, you know, Necronomicon's not real. Don't tell me it's real. You're wrong. Yes, there is an Egyptian Book of the Dead. I already know, like, some smart ass is going to tell me that that's a thing. Yeah, but it's not the fucking Necronomicon. It is not Necronomicon Ex Mortis. It's not, which is hilarious. It's the Book of the Dead of the Dead. Best fucking name thing ever. Or, you know, it's not... You know, it's not H.P. Lovecraft's, you know, Necronomicon as written by Abdul Al-Hazred. You know. It's bullshit. Yes, though, by the way, the best thing in the world is the fact that people have written the quote-unquote Necronomicon and have been selling it titled as such, and people were going, oh, I can summon demons now. Fucking idiots. One more reason to hate life. People. It's always people. Okay, what did I need? Cast 1 damage taken. Do I even get that from Sawasa? Shit, now I forgot if you even get it from him. Do all this bullshit for no discernible reason. Just making sure I already had that other thing. I could have sworn that, or you get it from Lily later on. It's one of those things where I just flat out fucking forgot. Not all that surprising, to be honest with you, but I have the memory of a turnip on a bad day, and honest with you, today's one of those bad days where I can't even focus. Maybe... Oh yeah, I need to... I already have Ancestor Protector. Do I have Ancestor or War Chief in here somewhere? Is that a thing? Or do I have to wait on that too? Oh! Ancestor War Chief? Don't... Ow. Shit. Don't have a Orb of Chance. I can get an Orb of Chance. Do I have if multiple totems in here too, I'll go ahead and snag one of those while I'm here. Spell totem. Oh, splash. Nope. Whatever. That's okay. Not gonna worry about it right this second then. Anyway. With all that being said and done, I think this is a good place to stop, and I will see y'all around. Bye!